going on, fellas? I know a lot of times when we go to set like standards and goals and things we want to achieve, a lot of people, they do it like on a yearly basis, like, oh, next year I'll achieve this. Or even like when it comes January 1st, we say, you know, New Year's resolution, like we're gonna settle this, you know, in a year or whatever the case may be. I don't know, that's like the time stamp people like expect themselves to reach a goal. But the good thing about it, fellas, is most men, they don't need a year. They don't need another vision board. They don't need another motivational video. They don't need another motivational quote. They don't need another productivity app. They don't need a perfect time to start. All they need is 6 months. 6 months of focus, 6 months of discipline, 6 months of doing what the fuck they already know what they should be doing. Because the truth is, fellas, most men, they don't lack information. They're stuck because they keep repeating the same damn habits over and over and over again, which results into them living the same days over and over and over again. If your life isn't where you want it to be right now, fellas, I'm talking about finances, physique, confidence, career, mindset, whatever it is, you can change all that. And I'm not saying it's going to change overnight. No, not at all. But in 6 months, your life can look completely different. Right now, we're in the 6th month of the year. So 6 months from now, it'll put us in December, which will put us right at that deadline mark of 2027. So let's not waste any more time. Today I'm gonna give you the exact 5-step blueprint, and if you follow these steps consistently for the next 6 months, you'll become a completely different man. So without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, fellas, you gotta change this. This right here is where it all starts. You have to change your mentality. Before you change your life, you have to change the way that you think, the way you see things, the way you look at things, the way you take things internally. Because your mindset creates your actions, and your actions create your reality. Most people wait years for motivation. Most people wait years for a reason, but motivation is unreliable. It's the discipline that you develop that will change your life. Let's be honest, how many times have you said, I'm gonna start Monday, or I'm gonna start next month on the 1st of the month, or I'm gonna start after the holidays, or even I'm gonna start January 1st, the first day of the year. But then that day comes, that Monday comes, that 1st of the month comes, January 1st comes, and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing changes. Or maybe you're complaining about your finances, but you're still ordering DoorDash and buying weed every day. Or maybe you're talking about getting in shape, but you're skipping the workouts to go hang out with your friends. Or maybe you're talking about starting that business, but you're spending 6 to 7 hours every day scrolling on social media, not doing nothing about it. See, the problem here, fellas, is it's not that you don't know what to do. You're just avoiding doing it. Most men already know the answers. You know, if you want a better physique, you know what you gotta do. You gotta stop eating bullshit and you gotta hit the gym. If you know you wanna build your savings account, you know you have to make money and stop spending money on impulsive purchases. Most men already know the answers. The answers are simple. We overcomplicate things. Drink more water, go to the gym, save money, learn a skill, stop wasting your time. But the thing, fellas, knowing and doing it, those are two different things. Nothing changes until accountability hits the picture. Stop blaming your circumstances. Stop blaming your job. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming other people. You have to take ownership, because the moment that you accept responsibility is the moment that you gain control, and that control is where the change begins. Most people are addicted to comfort. You know, comfort feels safe, but comfort is also the reason why a lot of men are stuck. The life that you want, fellas, is on the other side of that discomfort. So if you're serious about rebuilding your life, actually turning your life around, start by changing your mentality. You gotta stop waiting and start moving. Number 2, you gotta remove your distraction. Once your mindset changes, you have to remove whatever's stealing your attention, because focus is one of the most valuable assets that a man can have today, because there's so many things out here that's being built and used to steal our attention. Think about it, fellas. I talk about this almost every video. The average person spends hours on their phone, face glued to their screen, scrolling, watching random videos, jumping from app to app, consuming endless content. But yet you look surprised when years go by and nothing has changed for you. And one thing that helped change my life is when I realized that I was spending more time consuming motivational content than actually taking action. Like a lot of times we try to justify, like, yeah, like I'm on my phone, but at least I'm not on Instagram. I'm on YouTube watching motivation. And the thing is, fellas, the thing about motivation, it gets tricky, because at that moment when you feel motivated, you feel like you're in motion. You feel like you're going in the right direction. But motivation is just a feeling. You still got to take action. You guys know every self-improvement creator, every podcast, every quote, but yet again, your life is exactly the same, because information without action That's just entertainment, fellas. That's not transformation. And to be honest, it's not just your phone. Sometimes it's the people around you as well. Negative people around you, draining people, other people who constantly complain and never improve, people who make fun and mock your growth and the changes that you're making to better your life, people who are trying to encourage and manipulate you to stay mediocre. Your environment shapes your behavior, fellas, whether you realize it or not. If you constantly surround yourself with distractions, you're gonna become distracted. But if you constantly surround yourself around focused people, then you'll become more focused. That's why one of the most powerful things that you can do is reduce that stimulation. You gotta stop scrolling. You gotta spend less time scrolling. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Stop consuming every damn thing and create space for your mind to think. Create space for you to work. Create space for you to improve. Most people are terrified of boredom. Trust me, I'm telling you, I was one of those people. I used to fall victim to fear of missing out all the time. But boredom is where focus is built, because that silence forces you to think. It forces you to create. It forces you to confront yourself. And that's exactly why most people avoid it. Fellas, listen to me. Remove distractions, because your future self will thank you. Step number 3, isolate and lock in. This is the step most people refuse to do because it requires sacrifice. Fellas, you can't rebuild your life when you're constantly being pulled in every direction. Sometimes you need that season of isolation. It's not forever. It's not forever. Just long enough for you to build that momentum. Long enough for you to hit that 32 degrees. Think about how many people are stuck because of their environment. Friends who only want to party. Friends who only want to go out and spend money on dumb shit. Friends who are making fun of other disciplined people. Friends who try to pressure you into wasting your time. Every weekend becomes the same story. Go out, spend money, sleep in, wake up hungover, spend all day recovering. Rinse and repeat, and then wondering why life never changes. Now, fellas, when it comes to your environment and your friends and your circle, you don't have to hate those people. You don't have to argue with them, but it's very important that you protect your energy. Sometimes protecting your energy is creating that distance. Most people will feel uncomfortable when you start improving, because your growth is going to remind them of their lack of discipline, their excuses. The moment you start saying no, people are going to start getting offended. The moment you stop participating in nonsense, people are going to start questioning you. The moment you become disciplined, people gonna start calling you weird or obsessed, and you know, they just gonna start hating. And that's okay, because like I said, majority of people, they normalize mediocre shit, average shit. They're comfortable with the average lifestyle, with the average actions, average habits, average results. But that's not why we're here, fellas. We're here to become him, which means you must be willing to do what average people won't do. And that growth to become him is gonna require sacrifice. Fellas, it's gonna be hard. I done had to cut some of my closest friends off, even family. But unfortunately, there's no way around that. Every successful person has gone through a period where they've had to disappear. When they stop showing up everywhere, they may have to miss a couple parties. They may have to miss some birthdays. They may have to miss some family events. They had to stop saying yes to everything and focus that time on them to begin building. Sometimes rebuilding your life requires you to go ghost for a little while. Lock in, focus, and build, and let the results speak. Because honestly, fellas, 6 months is not a long time. You see how fast the first half of this year went? This time is gonna fly by whether you lock in or not. So you might as well take advantage of it and do what you need to do to become him on the other side. Step number 4 is you need to build a system. Most people rely on motivation, but successful people rely on systems. Because motivation doesn't last long. It comes and it goes. But systems stay, and is what you repeatedly do no matter how you feel. This is where your life starts to become predictable, but in a good way. You have a schedule, you have a routine, you know what you're doing when you're doing it. Think about how many people wake up and just freestyle life, sleeping at random times, wake up late, skipping workouts, eating whatever's convenient, wasting their entire weekend, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. That's because that chaos of that freestyling, that's creating that stress. But structure, when you have everything planned out, that structure, that's what's gonna create your momentum. You don't need a perfect schedule, fellas. You need a repeatable one. Wake up at the same time, go to sleep at the same time. Schedule your workouts, schedule your work, your learning, schedule your recovery. As you can see, fellas, as we're currently speaking, I have my Google Calendar popped up on my screen. It's time for me to eat dinner. I have my schedule and my notifications to pop up. I have my Google Calendar organized, fellas. I know when I create a routine, it removes that decision-making process, because every decision that you have to make is draining your energy. But when your habits and your actions become automatic, on autopilot, self-driven, your progress becomes automatic as well. And here's something nobody talks about. Empty time creates bad habits. So on your Google Calendar, that white space, that was the time where I used to start drifting, right? Because I didn't know what to do around that time. I felt like I had nothing to do. So the first thing I'll do is pick up my phone, start scrolling. First thing I'll do is pick up my phone, text that chick. First thing I'll do is pick up my phone and jump on a FaceTime call and be on the phone for hours. It's very important that your Google Calendar has very minimum white space, because most bad decisions typically happens when you have nothing planned. That's when the scrolling starts. That's when the binge watching starts. That's when the impulsive spending starts. That's when the distractions take over. A structured day protects you from all that. Because fellas, we don't rise to our goals, we fall to our systems. So build a system that's gonna make success easier for you. Then repeat it every day for 6 months. The fifth and last step, fellas, you have to understand the compound effect. This step right here separates the successful people from everyone else. Patience. You gotta have it, because rebuilding your life, like I said before, it's not gonna come overnight. It's gonna take time. The biggest mistake people make is expect an immediate result. They go to the gym for 3 weeks, no six-pack, they quit. They study a skill for 2 months, no job, they quit. They start saving money, still not rich, they quit. They never stay consistent long enough to experience the compound effect. Fellas, the compound effect is simple. Small, actionable steps repeated over time consistently creates massive results. Gym progress is invisible at first. Skill development is invisible at first. Financial growth is invisible at first. Personal growth is invisible at first. And for months, it may look like nothing is happening for you, fellas. Then suddenly, you're gonna look up and everything's gonna start to happen. You're gonna get that one phone call that's gonna change your life. You're gonna look in the mirror, you're gonna start seeing cuts in your arm, definition in your abs, people complimenting you because they noticing your physique. Opportunities start appearing out of nowhere. Your confidence starts increasing, your finances start improving, your mindset start evolving, and you so locked in and isolated that when this shit start happening, the outsider's gonna think it happened overnight, but you know the truth. It was the result of 1,000 small decisions. The workouts nobody saw, the early morning, the sacrifices, the discipline, the consistency. Most people quit during the invisible stage, and as we call it, the 0 to 31 degree stage. That's why most people never hit that 32 degrees when that ice starts to melt. 6 months from now, you're either gonna be glad you started or you're gonna wish you had. The choice is yours. Fellas, if you wanna rebuild your life in the next 6 months, you gotta remember these 5 steps. Change your mentality, remove distractions, isolate and lock in, build a system, and trust the compound effect. None of these steps are complicated, but they definitely require consistency. And consistency is where most people fail. The next 6 months are gonna pass whether you change with it or not. So the question is, where are you gonna be when these 6 months pass? If you got any value from this video, fellas, comment locked in down below. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. And if you're looking for bulletproof systems that can help strengthen your consistency, your mindset, your physique, and speed up your results, click the link in the description below. Book a call and we'll see if you're a good fit. But understand, fellas, this isn't for everybody. You've seen the consistency, you've seen the hard work, you've seen the dedication. But if you are ready to change your life, we're halfway through the year, fellas. Your future is built on what you do repeatedly every day, not what you do occasionally. We have no more time to waste, time to perform.